long has it been since I've uploaded? 2 weeks? The last couple weeks really sucked, but I'm back, so hello. Welcome to the web. I'm Nick Webb. If you are a returning viewer, it is so good to see you again. If you are new, make sure you hit subscribe. Why would you even subscribe when you're 2 seconds into this video? Because I asked you to. Well, I didn't even ask. Can you? I've had kind of an interesting couple of weeks, and what I love to do on this channel is I just love to share my burning thoughts because I work from home. Who is there for me to talk to? So might as well talk to a camera. Usually I do this like at night in cozy clothes with a sweet treat, but I have the little bit left of my mint matcha. Have you guys ever had a mint matcha? This tastes like mint ice cream, which I love mint ice cream. This is my drink of the summer. It's also not evening time yet. My husband's at work and I figured while I have the time, while the house is quiet, I can chit chat to the camera without hearing him play his video games in the background like almost every video. But like to get into what's been consuming my brain is the concept of failure. And I don't know if like I've even like talked about failure. I think, my SD card's out of memory. Hold on. Now, if you see me kind of glance down at my phone every so often as I kind of talk a little bit, it's because I am currently auto-rolling on Monopoly Go. This is not an ad. I'm obsessed with this game. And I have dice to roll and little mini games to win. So we're trying to make that happen. I'm also about to get 925 dice. Sometimes I like to multitask just to see if I can. And as somebody with ADHD, you would think that I'm great at multitasking. I'm actually not. Oh, fuck. No, 100 more. And then I can get the 900 dice. I'm close. I'm going to get it. Back to failure. The burning thought in my brain is failure. Isn't that the burning thought in everybody's brain? I used to be somebody that had a crippling fear of rejection in general. I would say that all the time, like when I was single and people would be like, oh, shoot your shot with this person, or like text this person or something, like I would refuse because I was just like, I have a crippling fear of rejection. I would always say that. And I mean, it was true. Like I didn't like feeling dumb, looking dumb, any of that. And then like, I also had this fear of not, like, I had a fear of failure, but I've had a bigger fear of people seeing me fail. And it's really funny. I got 900 dice. We'll pause. We're at a good little spot. So that was like my life for a really long time. And there was a lot of things like I missed out on. And then when I started posting on social media 2 years ago and like really trying to be consistent and take it serious, I quickly had to get over that, especially because I was posting on TikTok basically in my high school town, like where I went to high school. It's not my hometown, but it's where I went to high school. And TikTok pushes your videos to like the first 200 people that like are, I think, in your area. So I had to try to become TikTok famous in my high school town. Talk about exposure therapy. And so I really just learned to kind of just get over it and just push through. And like, I'm not going to achieve things unless I try. And through it, I found some fun little wins and successes, like being on Good Morning America, having Insider.com write an article about my wedding. I made money on TikTok on that account. I ended up starting my account over. And so I those 2 years, I just learned to get over it. And as I stepped into my big journey of trying to be a traditionally published author, the whole industry is just rejection and rejection and rejection and rejection and rejection over and over and over again. There's not necessarily like failures. And I say failures very loosely because I don't believe in failing. I believe in having lessons. I think every failure is an opportunity for a lesson. I think it is only considered a failure if we fail to see that there's something to learn from it. Um, everything in life, any time you have fallen short or failed or something didn't go the way you wanted it to or you didn't succeed in the way, there's a lesson there. And so like I think about my author journey and all the rejections I've gotten, because rejection is redirection. I do also believe that. I believe rejection is always pointing rejection is a compass almost, where it's like not here, not here. And as hurtful and hard as it is, I've learned to start to see rejection as, okay, where do I go now? Knock, knock, knock. Okay, not here. Okay, let's try here. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, not here. And like it hurts. And sometimes it's just like, why can't I just see the straight path and just go straight towards it? But such is life. And when failures happen, it's a kind of a form of rejection, but I think it's also just a moment of learning. And so with my rejections with the beginning of my author journey, yes, it was kind of, okay, no, not here, but I also count those as like my failures because I learned that I could do better and be better when it comes to like my pitching to agents and things like that. And so many rejections and so many failures, I had to take a step back and be like, what am I doing wrong? Because that's something I'm really big on, is if you are in a cycle or in a pattern, if you start to notice it enough, you need to stop and think like, okay, I'm in a pattern. What's going on? And usually the common denominator is you. But that could be I am attracting bad people in my life. I keep choosing the wrong things or this or that or whatever. So that's how I also feel with failure, is when I fail, I need to take a step back and be like, why? Why did I fail? Failing is just a moment to learn so that you can succeed. And so when it comes to failure, everybody's afraid of failing. Everybody's afraid of looking dumb. I have a few thoughts on that, which is why I'm talking to a camera. The first thought is, you should never be afraid to be seen trying, because you are already more successful than the person that is thinking about trying. You're actually doing something. You're actually taking actionable steps towards said goal. People who are just dreaming and doing nothing, you're already more successful than them. You're already more successful than you were yesterday because you've been actively taking steps forward. Okay, you failed 12 times. You're still going. You're still more successful than the person over there. And so like I think everybody needs to get rid of their fear. Like that's the first thing. Everybody needs to get rid of their fear. What is going on today? Everybody needs to get rid of their fear of failure. I had like a cheesy little line because I was thinking about this while doing my makeup, and it was something like, how can you be okay? I'm going to put inspirational music behind this when I like nail it. How can you be... What was I thinking? How can you want everyone to see you fly if you're not okay with people seeing you fall first? Get it? Because like baby birds, they have to fall out of the nest in order to learn to fly. It sounded better in my head. How can you want the world to see you fly if you are never wanting to fall first? You guys are getting my point. I was trying to be inspirational. I was trying to be a Pinterest quote that circulates over and over again, but it's always like quoting somebody else. Like, oh, Tinkerbell said this. Tinkerbell doesn't talk. We'll stop there. Well, she talks in like the Pixie Hollow stuff, but like the original Peter Pan. Anyways. Yeah, so stop being afraid of failure, because you will never look Okay, to some people, you may look dumb trying until you're successful and suddenly they're texting you saying, hey, how'd you do this? Do you have any tips? Do you have any advice? Because the people that are going to think you're dumb for trying are just waiting until you figure it out so they can find the shortcut to get there. The people who think that you're dumb for trying are just waiting until it's easier for them. They're even more afraid of failure than you are. Send that to your enemies. I'm in a silly, goofy mood today. It is a mint matcha. You will never look dumb for trying. You will never look dumb. I mean, like, all the successful people never think you're dumb for trying because they had to do the same thing. Never fear failure. Because you are meant to fail, and you will fail. Spoiler alert, you will fail over and over and over and over and over again. Failing is one of the most key parts in whatever journey you are on. Failure is not a lack of success. Failure is an opportunity to learn. Period. Put that as a Pinterest quote. I'm trying to think of like math tests. I mean, when you failed tests in school, the teacher would then explain why your answer was wrong. And then like, hopefully you did better on, like, that's the point of school, is to learn. And that was a point of tests, though I feel flawed about it because everybody learns different, but that's a different soapbox I'll get on another day. But I mean, the whole concept of testing was to see if you know, and you're getting graded, not for trying, you're getting graded so that you may learn from what you failed. And like a good teacher and a good education system would like make sure you've learned from the failures so that you can progress and learn more. Like if you think about math, if you don't know how to do 2 + 2 and you keep failing and you don't know why you're failing and you give up, you can't move on to the next thing. If you fail 2 + 2 and then you learn why you failed 2 + 2, great, now you know addition. Let's move on to subtraction. Why do we need to know subtraction? Because we're going to get all the way to PEMDAS, baby. That's right. PEMDAS. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I'm so silly. I need more of these mint matchas. I'm 100% sober. I'll also say that right now. I don't know. Maybe they put a little extra green in this mint matcha. Failing is a part of it. There is no answer key to life. There's no answer key to what you're doing. And even if somebody writes a detailed book on step-by-step how to be successful at this thing, you are your own individual person. You are unique. Your journey is unique. Even if you do all those steps exactly, you will not always get the same results. It's not even like, be okay with failure because it might happen. It will. It will. And the word fail and failure is so terrifying and ugly, but it's not meant to be. I think it needs to be synonymous with learning because that's what it is. It is just an opportunity to learn. And if you shift your view on failure, first of all, allow it, accept it into your life, let it flow in. Don't go like seeking failure, but being comfortable with it. And then seeing failure as always an opportunity to learn. First of all, it's going to feel a lot better when the rejections and the failures happen. And second of all, that's kind of the key. You're going to grow. You're going to get closer, and you're going to get closer faster because how many times do you have to retake the math test? But you keep failing, you keep failing, you keep failing. Your grade's never going to go up. Learn 2 + 2. It's not that hard. How many times, and that kind of goes into like the whole patterns and cycles. And I've talked about that in other videos of like, if you're in a pattern and a cycle, if you're in a cycle of failing, what are you not learning? What are you not changing? What do you need? What is this trying to tell you and teach you? Some of us need to open up our ears and our eyeballs and our brains and learn and grow and acknowledge that you might be the problem. You know, That was the title of my last videos. You might be the problem. Lowest viewing video in a while. You guys did not like being told you're the problem. Whatever. I could keep kind of going on and on. I've been learning that I sometimes repeat the same thing in 12 different ways, but I think I do that because I try to hope that one way will click for someone, and I'm kind of constantly looking for the way that it best translates to people, because what's so crazy about the English language, I learned this being married to my husband, is the same word and we know the meaning can be interpreted in different ways based on just our own life. Like if I say I'm disappointed, if I say I'm bummed out, my husband used to think that like that meant he let me down. He destroyed my life. And I'm just like, bummed out is just like, oh, I'm bummed out. And we had to like keep going back and forth to like to come to a good translation or interpretation for both of us. And so I can say failure is important. So that's kind of like why I ramble and like kind of repeat things in just different ways, is because I'm hoping that one way of saying something will finally click for somebody. So I'm trying to learn to like shut up. Like, okay, said it, point said, it's made. I also love speaking in metaphors. I'm gonna stop. That's kind of all I have to say. I feel like I've gotten my point across. You're meant to fail. Stop being afraid of failure. You're never gonna look dumb for trying. Failure is a very pivotal part of the process, and failure is not a lack of success. It is the opportunity to learn. That's all I have for you guys this week. Let's chit chat in the comments. How are you guys doing? How's everybody's beginning of summer going? How is your life journey? What have you failed at lately? What is your favorite coffee order? Actually, I recommend everybody go to whatever coffee shop serves mint matchas and try it. Or, other option, matcha lemonades. Better option, lavender matcha lemonades for the summertime. That's all I have this week. I will see you guys in my next video, so make sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends, and let's grow this little community. And I hope you guys learn from all your failures so that you can grow and succeed a lot quicker. Love you!